Lozano's Killerwinds podcast back again. I'm Cole Tanner. This is the Nuke, also known as Nick Simon, also known as a big long nickname I'm not going to go into.
Thank God.
Welcome back. Nick is back in Iowa. He has been out of the office. He's been out of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
I was in Ohio filming Buddy, whitetail hunt.
Southern Ohio.
Yep, southern Ohio.
You couldn't get much more southern than where you were at.
Yeah.
It was pretty southern. It was like pretty near on the border, right?
We flew into Kentucky.
There you go, Cincinnati.
Yep. So.
Well, it's actually, you flew into the Cincinnati airport, international airport. We didn't know this until we were trying to book flights. It kept taking us to the airport in Kentucky. Well, that's de facto. Kentucky's like right, or Cincinnati's right on the border.
Yeah.
And so the international airport's in Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, flew in there last Sunday. Got a hunting Sunday night actually, which was good. Saw some deer.
Who were you hunting with?
We were hunting with Ohio River Whitetail Adventures. It's ran by a guy named Brad Couch. Great guy. It was a really cool outfit. A lot of guys in there.
Yep.
And it's funny too. It was a ton of guys from like Georgia, kind of that area, coming up to Ohio to hunt. Had a lot of guys in there. Ton of hunters running through there, and it was just fun to kind of meet a bunch of new people, and and then like the outfitter itself. I mean, they got some beautiful land that they put hunters on, and then Pops was a camp cook.
Yeah,
he was a riot.
This guy sounded like he was really something.
Yeah, he was a riot. Really good cook. I mean, the food was amazing.
Yeah,
just so good. And then our guide, Nick Nance, great guy. It was a pleasure being with him the entire week. It was a lot of fun kind of running around. We were actually hunting on his farms, and it
was he related to Jim Nance at all by any chance?
Maybe.
It's the only time I've ever heard the Nance name besides Jim Nance.
Yeah. But yeah, we spent most of the week up on top of this big oak ridge, and man, it was just a blessing to be in that spot. I mean, it was just a gorgeous spot. I mean, in the hardwoods, in the timber, covered up in deer constantly. I mean, we kind of had the idea of taking a bunch of pictures and stuff, but like there just wasn't time. I mean, there was just constantly just deer, like just I was rolling a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool. So yeah, we hunted there. Had a couple encounters with some younger bucks, beautiful young bucks. Buddy elected to pass them, and then the rain came.
Yeah.
Man, it just dumped rain all day Wednesday, all day Thursday.
Which would have been your guys' like day 3, day 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, on a 5-day hunt, so that made it really tricky.
Yep, it was right up to the end, and it. So we ended up sitting in blinds over food plots, which was fun. I mean, it was just cool seeing you could see the time that they put into these spots. I mean, they were just beautiful plots, beautiful blinds. Just set up really, really nice. Mm-hmm. And saw some deer there. No mature deer, just a lot of kind of little small bucks, a lot of does just kind of working in and out.
Yep.
So then going into the last day, we were pretty revved up because we just thought, man, it's going to be a zoo down in there, or back up on the ridge. Just with it being so wet, we thought maybe they'd be kind of starting to work scrapes again, freshen those up. And we had a great hunt Friday morning. Saw a couple bucks that were, potential shooters.
Yeah.
Just never got a shot off. And then we got out around 10:30, 11 and rolled back.
Off you went.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because, we've talked a lot about this before on guided hunts. It doesn't matter if it's whitetails, if it's turkeys, if it's an elk hunt, whatever type of hunt you're going to be doing it on guided hunt.
Yeah.
Before you go into a guided hunt, there's two things you can't control. And I always said this as a guide myself. You can't control the weather and you can't control the animals.
Exactly.
And you had those two things really kind of working against you in the middle of the week, which really kind of cut the hunt way down.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden when it rains, and you were telling me earlier today that the outfitter talked about like how many cameras did he have out? And like on that, when it started to rain, it had rained for a day. And then the next day he said he had like how many cameras out, had like 2 pictures of deer on camera.
Yeah, there was a span there where just nothing was showing up. Yeah. The rain just shut them off.
Well, and it's unbelievable because and we talked about this, I sometimes feel like feel like whitetail deer are like the movie Avatar, you know, where it's like this living ecosystem that like the deer can like tap into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they all know. It's just insane to think about that they all just go across this huge area, just go, nope, we're not going to move today.
Yeah.
You know, it's insane.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That they
no,
all
for sure.
just don't move.
Yeah.
Like you think one would just be like, you know, whatever, I'm going to go for it. But they don't. They all just, it's just this weird instinctive biological, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But they all just stop.
Yeah.
And then they all just go.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then they all stop again. And it's just the most bizarre thing.
Yeah, and I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head because that Friday, everybody saw deer.
Yeah.
That Friday morning, you know, right after the rain, you know, everything kind of cooled off and cleared out weather-wise, and they were on their feet for sure. I really wish that we could have stayed there a couple more days because I think we probably could have caught up with something. I mean, there was deer moving like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it was really cool. The highlight of the trip for sure was so Sunday night when we hunted, we had 3 does directly downwind. The footage is kind of funny. You can see all 3 of them kind of trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Doing the old nose up in the air, licking their nose, putting it back down, putting it back up again. Just can't figure it out.
Yep, and Buddy was just rifling the wind tracker at him, and it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucked though because that when we got in there, you know, first time setting up in a new spot, kind of takes a little bit longer, and you know, we always run a GoPro way up high, so you can kind of see the whole setup. It's kind of cool. It almost looks like a drone shot, and I had everything set up. That was the last thing to throw on the tree, and deer were moving. We had deer right on us, and so unfortunately, when we had that really good downwind encounter, I didn't have the GoPro set up just yet. So I was like, man, that was really cool to see, but I just wish we could have had everything rolling. Well, the next morning, that GoPro was like the first thing I put up because it's pretty easy to put up once you just do it, you know?
Yeah.
And same exact thing. Had a doe come in directly downwind. I mean, the wind tracker basically hit her, went right under her chest, and you could see her like watch it. And it was just really cool just to kind of get that finally captured. I mean, it's something that you always, like when you're filming, especially for Ozonics, you're kind of always trying to capture something like that. And there's so many things that need to line up for that to work, you know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, this all really, I feel like, roots in the question that we get asked so much is, does it really work? Does it really work?
Yeah.
And there's been a few videos over the years that without a shadow of a doubt, you see it working.
Yeah.
And when we play those videos for people, you can see the light bulb go on.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like we can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And then, you know, that's really where the rubber meets the road. And it doesn't take any talking.
Yeah.
The actions speak louder than the words.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a couple videos that we've had over the years that have really done that. And we're always trying to get that ourselves. I mean, and even of all the time that you and I have spent together, that's been one of the things that, like, to kind of see behind the curtain that Nick and I are always trying to do. And it's always a fine balancing act for the two of us.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to get deer on the downwind side, and sometimes that can mean pressuring spots.
Yep.
But then we also want to hunt the spots. And then sometimes, like we've talked about, there's hunting the wind and there's hunting the deer.
Yeah.
And so, but it's, even with that said, if you go in, we've got into spots with no regard, trying to just get it.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to get it all lined up.
Yeah. And I mean, even from the point of where I'm positioned as the cameraman, I mean, there can be times where we have deer downwind and they're clearly downwind, but the deer's directly behind me, so it's kind of hard to get it. This situation was so perfect. I could film it just perfectly.
It was all lined up.
It was everything lined up perfectly.
Yeah, like, and I feel like what you're saying that you're not saying there is there are times where and even when you and I started talking about this encounter, I said, okay, describe it to me like a clock.
Yeah.
You and I've had situations where I'm sitting and facing at 12 o'clock, and you're facing at 3 o'clock, and downwind is at 9 o'clock. Well, it comes downwind, but it's hard to get it all in the same shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because again, like, with all due respect to the trolls that are out there, there's trolls out there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all fake. You guys, it's all editing and da-da-da. And that's where years ago, shameless plug, Fourth Arrow makes this big long arm. And I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's it right there.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Because the Ozonics doesn't talk.
Yeah.
You know, it is a big character in the video that we're always doing, but it doesn't talk.
Yeah.
So we have to talk for it. We have to show it. You know what I mean? And so being able to put that arm up in the air and show the Ozonics and show the whole setup, and you know that it's not set up. You know what I mean? Like we're just, first thing you do is you press that remote and it gets the GoPro going.
Yeah.
So it ties it all together.
Yeah.
But there's so many situations where I'm set up one way, you're set up the other, and the downwind side's the opposite direction, and you still can't get it all lined up on the big main camera.
Yeah.
In that situation, it couldn't have lined out any better.
No.
I mean, you had Buddy, you had you right over his shoulder. You can see you can see Buddy throwing the wind indicator, blowing right to the deer. You're right over his shoulder. You can see it literally just floating.
Floating right to
I
it.
felt like when I watch it, you could see the doe almost like see it in the air and like kind of like pick it out as it's coming towards her. And then you're like, and even then I was like, gosh, did she just pick out that wind indicator? And then all of a sudden it goes right by her, like right by her chest, and it kind of swoops down to would have been her right.
Yeah.
You can see her turn her head and look right at it and then look back over again.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most insane thing. Even Buddy's reaction, you know, we had to beep it out.
I know.
You know, you could just even hear Buddy like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, did you get that?
Yeah.
You know, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. And after that happened, me and Buddy were kind of freaking out in the stand, like, oh my gosh, we got it. Like,
well, how long have we talked about that?
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
It's really hard to do.
It's really hard to do.
And especially too having her that close. I mean, she was probably at 30 yards, but having it that close, you know, the camera just picks things up better when it's closer. It's just natural. That's just how it is.
Yep.
And to be that close and really see the wind tracker, really see her reaction, having it in focus, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, no, that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So just on, this is related from a cameraman perspective, when you were over her shoulder like that, you had the 70 to 200 lens on, right?
72.
And what did you have your f-stop at when you were floating the wind indicator? Because you didn't, I felt like you were focused on the deer and you could see the wind indicator kind of out of focus coming into focus. Do you remember what you were at roughly?
Yeah, I was low.
Yeah.
I bet you I was between 2.8 and probably 4. So that's pretty shallow.
Yep.
But what I was doing was, which I never do this, but it was just, I had a lot of practice the day before getting it. So when I was kind of watching him out of the corner of my eye when he would puff one, throw one, I would be kind of racked out. And you can see in that video, I'm slowly zooming in.
Yes.
And it just, I don't know, it just all worked out perfect. It was honestly kind of luck because like doing that could be kind of sketchy just because when you're zooming in with, I guess like a focal lens, basically.
Yeah, mirrorless camera with just a
it's not like
zoom.
I'm hitting a button where it's slowly zooming in. It's
you're
kind
not very
of
zooming on it at all.
It's kind of risky to do that because you lose focus a lot, and you can see it in the raw footage that there was a couple times where they came close and I lost focus. But that one, I don't know, it just all worked out really good.
Yeah.
So, and that helps with the focus as well because when you're at 2.8 or 4 and you're zoomed all the way in, it seems like it's you know, your peaking for your focus is quite a bit tighter.
Well, because your focal length is so short.
Exactly.
Yep.
But when you zoom out, you can see your peaking really widen out.
Yep.
And so I don't know, it just all worked out really
Yeah,
good.
it was really cool.
Really, really stoked to get that because I mean, been trying to get that shot for 3 years now.
Yeah, no, and like I said, we've been trying to get it as long as I've been here. It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah, like I said, there's only been a few situations. Yeah, I mean, that clip of video is a lot like when you see Hex. So they have videos out there where they have animals that are just so close.
Yeah.
You're like, what is going on? You know, it just, there's no doubt. You're like, that is incredible.
Yeah.
And that's the same type of thing we're trying to do when we get deer on the downwind side. Even as we looked at the fall, trying to quote unquote create content and trying to get out there and do stuff.
Yeah.
It's, how do we get deer on the downwind side? How do we get that wind indicator in the air and leave no doubt that Ozonics is doing its job?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, it feels like it's not hard to see it work, but it's hard to see it and get it all on camera where there's no doubt that it's doing its deal. And that was just the perfect situation.
Yeah. And it was funny too, because like kind of like what you're talking about, like it's, you know, it's something that you can see work, you see it happen. And when we got back that, you know, afternoon, we were all talking about it, and there was just kind of a buzz in the cabin, and like everybody was asking questions about the units, and like it was just really cool. It was a lot of fun.
It's when the light bulb goes on, man.
Exactly.
I mean, we talked about that how many times? Like guys that go at the shows, I'm like, listen, man, like you're gonna buy one, you're gonna start using one, and you're gonna get deer on the downwind side, and you're gonna see it work. and that light bulb's going to go on, and then the wheels are going to start to turn. And what you're describing is everybody started thinking, "Jeez, oh Pete, whoa, hold on a second, wait.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get deer on the downwind side like that.
Yeah,
it's funny when I watched it. The thing I kept waiting for was the arrow to go flying through it.
I know,
because I'm terrible. I'm like, Brown, it's down. I'm like, that's a good looking doe. Let's shoot it.
Well, the first day, the first day we had does just all around us.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you got a doe tag? He's like, well, it's an any sex tag. I'm like, well, looks like we're going home early.
Yeah.
He could have shot so many does.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
But yeah, it was good. But yeah, no, it was a really good trip. And this was actually our giveaway hunt too.
Yeah.
And so we had our giveaway winner there from West Virginia, Cole. And then Ben Griffin, who was on the podcast and in New Mexico with us and in Texas with us, he was there filming too. So it was great to see him and hang out with those guys. And it all went really good. They had, it was funny, we kind of had the exact opposite hunts. We saw a ton of deer every single hunt, not a lot of shooters. They didn't see as much deer, but when they saw a deer, it was a shooter. They had a couple, not close encounters, but they saw some really nice bucks kind of throughout the week. But yeah, man, it was a really good trip. It was a lot of fun. And this was actually my first trip I've ever been on that was whitetail focused.
Yeah.
And it was just I can tell how obsessed I am with whitetails, because like other trips I get kind of tired and I'm like, God dang. But for this one I was just like raring to go every single morning. It was just fun to just have a full week of just solid filming whitetails. So
how did everybody else do in camp?
One other guy shot probably like 125-ish inch 8-pointer.
Yep.
And then a couple guys missed some big ones.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, felt like it was kind of a little bit slower week than what we were all expecting, but I think the rain just really
slowed them way down.
Slowed everything way down. But
which honestly, I felt like it did the same thing here. We had rain that wasn't in the forecast.
Yeah.
All these like cloudy, overcast days that ended up turning into like kind of like slow drizzly rains all day. Felt like the same thing here. I thought it was going to be pandemonium last week, and it was slow. Yeah. It was slower than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm sorry to just jump right into that.
No.
It's interesting because as last week was kind of playing out for you, we didn't really talk, but like, you know, when you were traveling back and we were just talking about how it was going here, I feel like when we had that cold snap in earlier October or mid-October, it kind of like snapped the bucks right into it.
Yeah.
And we did see that big pickup on the cameras where all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, here we go. They're on camera. Let's do this. But I feel like the bucks started bumping around the does and they realized really quick that the does weren't ready. And so then all of a sudden we kind of took this nosedive back down into this lull.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like the bucks were ready and the does weren't. And so then the bucks just were like, oh, okay, we'll slow back down again.
Yeah.
And now the bucks are starting to rev back up again. But it just felt like last week it was kind of in that where it just felt slow. It just didn't feel like quite the time. Even in seeing how the does were acting when you saw does. Get to this time of year, you know, I've always felt like my best time to kill does on antlerless tags is October.
Yeah.
They're just walking around. But all of a sudden you get to the end of October into November and they don't walk the edges as much. They don't walk in the woods as much. They don't like to get pestered.
Yeah, they're just kind of walking on eggshells
Yes,
everywhere.
yes. And it just feels like we're still seeing does around.
Yeah.
They're not getting that pestered yet. We've seen it a little bit. I had a couple times last week that I saw little bucks chasing does, kind of dogging them a little bit. You know what I mean? But it just still feels like it's just the engine's firing, but it's not really revved up yet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so, but it's interesting too, because you look at where your family's at in Wisconsin, man, they are in full blown go time.
They're rocking right now.
It's actually just a little bit ahead of us.
Benny told me last night, he goes, I seriously think they're in lockdown already.
I would, from what he talked about and how much farther ahead, I would assume they are.
Yeah, because he last night he said he saw 12 does and fawns, not a single buck. And it kind of makes sense in that spot. Their buck to doe ratio is kind of way whack right now. There's so many there's just so many does out there.
Yeah.
And I think that all those bucks are just in the timber right now, just hanging out with their does, you know. So but yeah, no, it's good. I think it's going to crank up this week. And actually, I don't think we've talked about this yet, but we had a really, really good hunt before I left. I can't remember what day it was. Might have been the day before I left. We had a great hunt, and I had actually had an opportunity at one.
Oh yeah, there's actually a lot to talk about before we get into even how this week looks. Yeah. It was you left on a Saturday.
Yep.
Yep. And so it was like, hey, let's just sneak out before work and let's just try it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Nick got really close. Here's what's been happening. It's funny. Well, there's a lot to talk about, dude.
I know.
Let's just get a little. Let's just do a little executive summary, a little overview here, okay? You remember this. You had encounter with Billy Nobrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I had an encounter with Skinny Pete.
And No Name.
And No Name. Well, Billy Nobrow and No Name on the same day. Then Skinny Pete with me by myself. Then Tippy Top of the Pyramid.
Legitimate booner.
Yeah. And then see Skinny Pete again.
Yeah, again. which here's the
and
story
then,
behind
and then,
Skinny
and then,
Pete.
Hold on a second. And then also Jet and me and Jet and I have gone 2 for 2.
Yep, kill another one.
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe people aren't excited about this, but I am because I like killing does. Killed doe antlerless deer number 2.
Yep.
With Jet there, which made it even better. So we got a lot to talk about. There's been lots of, like you said a couple weeks ago, all of a sudden it's like that scene of The Office. You wish somebody would tell you we're in the good old days before you left the good old days. We're in the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
It is that time
when
everything starts speeding up. And January, February, March, we're going to be looking at our phones and go, man, that is a lot of stuff that happened in like a week. We are in that right now.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so let's go through it. So we had a south wind, right?
South wind.
Yep. Okay, so we've got this spot, we call it the river. And it is primo for a south wind. If you try to hunt on a north wind, it gets really tricky. They kind of walk down this edge. It's really tricky. On a south wind, it's just dynamite.
Yeah.
Again, still leaning on the ozonics, you know what I mean? But again, it feels like it's still the time of year that we're really hunting the wind, being respectful. You know what I mean? It's not like absolute gangbusters yet.
Yeah.
So it's really good on a south wind. So Nick goes in there, and it's the 2 Fs, right? It can be really fun, and then it can be really frustrating.
And that I had both of those just raring. Because, geez.
Oh, you kind of your mindset switched from being like thinking deer are this majestic, beautiful animal to feeling you have a vendetta.
Oh yeah, for sure. You
got a little angry.
Oh, I was so mad. Oh, I've never been so upset in a tree stand in my entire life.
So what happened? So give us a little play-by-play.
So right away in the morning, it was kind of slow.
Yep.
It was kind of slow.
For whatever reason, that spot is like, first light is always slow, but you get to like 8, 9 o'clock. This is before the time change.
Yeah.
8, 9 o'clock, and you better strap in.
Yeah, it started off slow. I actually had a freaking hen fly into the same tree as me.
You're in the big cottonwood.
And a hen flew right above me, and she's just going crazy.
That's so funny.
And she kind of flies down. And I actually think I called you to tell you that just because it's funny. And there had been some...
hey, you FaceTime me and you were like trying to show the phone around.
Yeah. And there was a doe and 2 fawns over in the bean field to my west. And I was just watching them. Turkey flies into my tree, so that kind of distracted me for a little bit. But as I'm calling Cole, I look down into that bean field, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a buck walking right at me. So I hang up the phone. I put my phone away. I glass him. At this point, he's probably 150, 175 yards away, just walking right at me. And I throw my binos up. I'm like, oh my God, that's Billy Nobrow. And originally I said, I'm not shooting Billy Nobrow. But as soon as I saw him, I'm like, he's getting it.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on the no-fly zone list.
He looked just amazing. There's only been one other time where a deer has looked prettier that has just been etched in my brain. It was the very first deer I shot. It was a frosty morning, and this 5-pointer walked in, and I'll never forget it. You could see his trail in the alfalfa where he was walking because it was so
Oh, yeah.
frosty and it was just gorgeous. And I'll never forget that. But that's what it looked like that day. The sun was hitting him. He just looked full. He just looked like he was in all his glory. His neck was huge and he's just walking right in. I'm like, oh baby, this is gonna happen. I was just like, there's no way I'm not getting a shot unless something really stupid happens. So he's walking in. We're set up on this fence line, and the shooting lane starts when he crosses the fence line, and he's walking right in. This cottonwood is it's gigantic. It's like the size of this table.
If we both wrap our arms around it,
It's huge.
maybe we touch barely. Not, he probably don't even touch.
Yep.
It's big.
Yep. And so
You can hide behind it when you're saddle standing easy.
Yeah, so I'm in my saddle. I'm standing straight up. I'd say Cole's the tree, so I'm just tucked behind it. The deer's coming in. He's probably at 15 yards on the opposite side of the tree. And I'm like, I pulled the bow down right away because the sun was kind of hitting me. And so I'm like, for sure going to shoot him. I just got to stay really calm, really still, just because the sun's hitting me. I don't want to make any glare or nothing like that. And so I was just rock solid. And he gets to the other side of the tree where I can't see him. I'm like, okay, he's right here. He's at 10 yards probably. And I hear him step into the trail to kind of cross over and give me a shot. And then nothing. And I'm like, okay, he's just checking it out. He's going to walk by any second. I'm just dead calm. I'm just got the killer mentality going. I'm just ready. I'm just heart's racing pretty good, but I'm locked in. And then I hear some brush kind of just shake a little bit. And I just peek around the tree, and he's just running away. And I'm like,
did he have his tail up or tail down?
Tail down.
Weird.
I mean, once he got out there and stopped and turned around, then he kind of flicked his tail up and then ran the rest of the way. But I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Didn't like something.
Something, I don't know. What I kind of think is, the sun was glaring me really bad. I don't know if something on my bow maybe just shimmered or he caught my bow or something. I don't know. But I was super upset because I've been waiting for that moment for so long, and it just really felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
He was right freaking there, man.
If he would have been just a couple more steps, he would have been done.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
Because, to give context, Nick is facing west in this tree.
Mm-hmm.
The sun's coming up behind him to the east. The buck walked in from the west,
mm-hmm.
but he got to the point where, if west is 12 o'clock, the sun's coming up at basically at 7 o'clock from where he's sitting. And this deer is coming around the tree at 9 o'clock,
mm-hmm.
right there. It's comes in at 12, comes around to 11, then it's at 10, then it's at 9, gets to 9. He's got to take a couple more steps to get to 8 o'clock. He's going to come into full view. And for whatever reason,
he just didn't, I don't know.
Yeah. And you were basically just trying to stay hidden,
yeah.
hoping that he would, because again, you could take a broadside shot at that 9 or 8 o'clock
mm-hmm.
point, but it would be awesome to take him at 7 o'clock, which would be quartering away. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're thinking, I'll just hide behind this.
Yeah.
His field of view will get kind of past me. I'll draw and I'll let him have it.
Well, and that was the thing too. What I was thinking the entire time, I'm like, I'm just going to stay directly behind this tree the entire time.
Yep.
I'm like, there's no way he can see me. This tree is so huge. I'm a bigger guy, but I'm not wider than that tree.
No.
And so I was just like, I just got to stay really, really still. Just be disciplined. Don't peek. Don't see where he's at. I'm like, he's right here. I'm going to see him at some point. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to kill the deer, not just watch him. And so I was just locked in. I'm like, he got to the point where he was behind me. I'm like, okay, he got to where I want him to get to. Now he just got to keep doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't lift his head once. He just was on a march.
Yep.
Walked right in from 150 yards away. And then, I don't know.
And then I had to pull you off the cliff.
Yeah. It was still probably the best hunt I've ever had in my entire life. I bet you we saw 35 deer that morning.
And you saw an absolute parade of does. That was really bizarre.
I know.
How many does were there in a row?
At least 15. Just one after another.
Just filing through, walking in this big group.
And there was 3 does
thing.
in the field when they came in too.
Yeah. A lot of deer.
It was really, really something. But
Yeah.
we saw, that morning I saw, a lot of them were small bucks, but I think we saw 9 different bucks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were small, but from ways away I saw one really nice buck. And then Cole had an encounter had one of the bucks that I want to shoot walk 10 yards from him.
Yeah, so as Nick's down at the river, I was at the spot that we call New Middle, and again on a southeast wind, you can make that spot work. You know, like on this field edge, there's even in any wind direction, you're going to kind of give up a little bit of something.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's just try this. You know what I mean? With a southeast wind, I'm not giving up too much. And if something did get behind me and it decided to head out of Dodgeville, it's going to come right at you. You know what I mean? Type deal. So it's like, okay. And yeah, sure enough, like a little bit into the morning, I look to my right and I can just see a body of a deer. I'm like, okay, here we go. And there's turkeys in the field too, right beside him. They're kind of looking at each other. And then he kind of steps out, and right away I could see he was kind of a high tight, you know what I mean? But a nice deer. Looked like a 9. He had like an extra an 8 with an extra on his right.
Yeah.
And I knew right away, I was like, gosh, nope.
Yeah.
But there was 2 bucks behind him, and one of them looked like it was a spike. But again, you got to be so careful on that. So like, I'm really just kind of like looking at the other 2 and just letting the other one do his thing. Well, same thing. The sun was just blaring on me. I mean, when that sun comes up right there for that little bit, I mean, it's really, really casting on you hard. So I'm like trying to hold really still and just up against a tree and have my binoculars. I'm looking. I'm not picking up my bow yet. I'm like, well, we'll see. So then okay, that's a spike. You know what I mean? So I pick up my bow. Here we go. And he starts to kind of walk through. And then you could tell he kind of he didn't win me.
Yeah.
But and I wasn't moving, but he just kind of was just watching. He just kind of did one of those like, oh, whoa, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm just, at that point, I was holding my breath.
Yeah.
Because you could see my breath, right? I mean, it's like sun's cast right at me. I'm sitting there like holding my breath, like looking like just over my hat, trying not to even make eye contact with him. He kind of stopped and looked for a bit, and then he just kind of walked right through.
Yeah.
Well, the other 2 kind of stopped, and you could tell they didn't want to get very far away from him. They're like, hey, he's the guy, man. Let's just follow him.
Yeah.
So then they both just, when the other 2 he just walked right through. Then the other 2 bucks, they trotted through, and I wasn't going to try to even do anything to stop them. I was like, and they were at 20 yards.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was a fun morning.
Yeah, it was a great morning.
Yep.
Like I said, it was literally probably one of the best hunts I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, just from seeing deer and having an opportunity, like it was a great morning.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we had that before you left, and then you left, and then I did a little bit of hunting while you were gone, and I kind of lose track of what day it was, but snuck out in the morning, and I actually rattled that morning. I was sitting in a spot we call the Co-op, and we had a northwest wind that day, which can be pretty good and pretty good. There's like a little ravine cut behind that on a northwest wind. When you puff the wind indicator, you put out your wind indicator, it feels like it kind of goes that way, and then it falls down that ridge, that little cut. So it's like, okay, that'll help me. And so a little bit after, actually, it was really foggy that morning.
Super foggy. I remember looking at the cameras.
That was probably one of the foggiest experiences I've had.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking, I shut the truck door and start walking away, and I mean, you couldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
I usually walk in with a red light. I couldn't see enough with my red light.
Yeah.
I walked past the Y where we usually go in. I'm like, gosh, I need more light. So I actually turned my dim of my white light on.
Yeah.
And that wasn't shining but 10 yards. I mean, it was unbelievable how it just was just necking it right down.
Yeah.
So I walked in with my white light. I have to cross this creek, open the woods, and I was having a heck of a time. We have lifelines on all the stands, which are reflective, which is really handy to see when you're kind of coming up. So I couldn't even get the reflection to shine because it was so foggy until I got close.
Yeah.
But I got in there okay. And the fog didn't lift, and it didn't lift. So finally, when it just started to lift, I'm like, okay, I'm going to just rattle. So I just rattled just a really short, nothing major, like not World War III, just a little tink, and set them right back down. And it was probably a half hour to 45 minutes. I'm just sitting there looking to the north, and all of a sudden I just kind of look at like 1 o'clock, and here walks in a buck right off the bat. And when I first saw him, I was like, oh, snap. And I instantly, when you do one of these where you're like grabbing behind you and trying to look at the deer, and you're like, where's my bow? I did one of those. And so I kind of grab my bow, pick it up, here we go. And I'm trying to figure it out, but I was like, oh, I don't know. And he was just cruising right in. And he stopped at like probably 50, 60 yards. And then I put the binos and really
Checked him out.
Yeah, checked him out. And he looked real nice and wide, but he was kind of skinny. And so I was like, no, I don't think I can do it. I thought it was Billy Nobrow at first, but here come find out it was Skinny Pete. So he walked in, he came in perfectly, and he was at 10 yards, broadside, very casually walking at that point, stopped, then walked again right in front of the camera, walked out to the behind me. He actually got, like, it was northwest, and he got behind me, and you could tell he got downwind, and he stopped. I mean, he stopped. He's picking his nose up, and he's going like this and looking and picking, and he's looking back, and he's looking on like this, and then he just flipped his tail once, and then just kept on walking.
Yeah.
But it was the funniest part about this was after the fact, because does Benny have your cameras too?
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
he does. He has mine.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
not yours.
Okay. Yeah, because this like web of trail camera sharing is getting out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I knew Nick was watching the cameras.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try to kind of beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I refresh it as soon as you walk by, and I didn't know Cole was hunting, and so I took a screenshot of it, sent it to my buddy Ray, Benny. I said, dude, Skinny Pete just daylighted again, and he's like, holy crap! He's like, why does he daylights every time you're not there? I'm like, yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. And then Cole texted me, just had Billy Nobrow at 10 yards. I'm like, wait, I'm like, where are you? What? I'm like, where are you hunting? He's like, co-op. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was Skinny Pete.
yeah.
And and I'm thinking, wait.
They're all caught up.
I'm like, wait a second. So you passed him? Yeah. It just wasn't. I don't know. It just wasn't. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, gosh.
I don't know, man.
No, I don't blame you one bit.
He's a really nice deer.
Yeah,
he's a super nice deer.
But like, I mean, you've.
But here's
for
my
years since I've known you, you've said,
yeah,
I want to shoot a big mature buck. And
yeah. Here's my thing. It's just like, if you're like questioning it right off the bat,
Yeah.
I am totally fine with not shooting a whitetail buck.
Yeah, there's nothing
I'll
wrong with
shoot
that.
does all day long.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And honestly, in the back of my mind too, I'm thinking, man, I wish if I can get Nick in front of that guy, And the only way I probably would is if we could get him on camera. That would be really something.
Yeah.
If we could get him on
for
camera, we
sure.
could get it all to work out on camera. That would be pretty cool.
Well, yeah, if he walks by on camera, I'm going to be in your ear so hard.
Yeah. But no, it was pretty cool. And then Ray was
dude.
and then he was like, what?
Yeah, he passed him? Are you serious?
But yeah, to each his own. But then I actually was out yesterday Saturday afternoon, and then I had another encounter with him.
Yeah.
Yep. So
again.
it actually was Saturday morning was really slow, and we had a lot of wind, and the wind switched kind of like northwest, but it was actually northeast where I was at, and an hour before dark, all of a sudden I look over to my left, and there he is again, just cruising right through. Same thing, got directly downwind, lifted his nose hard, licked. Actually, some turkeys walked through, so then I was like, oh, this will be fun. So I FaceTimed Nick. I'm like, hey, check this out. And we couldn't quite, and of course he stops in the spot where you couldn't see
I
him.
could see his body.
Yeah, but it was definitely him. And then he cruised off to the south, and then he ended up walking right through Co-op again. Yeah. Then he walked over down through Thermal Hub, then he came back up through Co-op again. So we're in his home range.
There.
Yeah, we're in his home range.
Stinking there.
And he is out and about. The other cool thing I forgot to mention about when I saw Skinny Pete that first time I passed him, there was 2 little bucks that came in after him, came from the exact same spot. And the 8-point, it was a little 8-pointer, that little basket rack. He came in, and you could tell he was almost just following Skinny Pete's trail.
Oh, yeah.
Like smelling where he was walking.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, when he got in there, he lost track of where he went out. And so it was the funniest thing. He walked, there's this old fence line. He walked down the fence line, and he walked a little bit to the north, and he came back, doubled back on himself again. And then finally he's like, oh, there it is. And then he kind of got out back on it again. Well, as that happened, another buck came in. And this is just another little basket. Well, these two didn't like each other. And they decided it was time to square up.
Yeah.
So the second small buck comes in. Well, the first one sees the small one, and the second one sees the first one, and they're like, what are you doing? And what are you doing? You could tell they were like, well, I'm following that guy. Well, I'm following that guy. So he comes back around, and they kind of walk a little bit off to the north, and you could just all of a sudden just see just this normal deer walking, not a big deal, ears pinned straight back, this whole like sidestep, like I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at you. And I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. So I'm like fumbling to get my phone out as fast as I can. And they came together and they fought for like, it couldn't have been 5 seconds. They just cracked them, head shook at each other for just a minute. And then the smaller one, he just bolted. He blew too. He blew. Bolted. You can hear him just running off. The other one's standing there in all of his glory, puffing air coming out of his nostrils. Thinking he feels so tough. So that was kind of neat to see a little rutting activity like that. I mean, again, wish their bucks were about 150 inches bigger. But so that was cool. I mean, it definitely felt like everything's starting to kind of move a little bit more. Everything's starting, like I said earlier, the engine's starting to get going. And then the end of the week was exciting. I got to took Jet out and actually had my brother-in-law Justin there as well, and he had his boy with him, and put me in one spot, put him in another. My brother-in-law Justin's shooting a recurve bow, so he's like, if it's brown, it's down, which is awesome. And so I was really hoping to get something in front of him. And Jet and I were sitting in this, we call it the double on the tongue, which is just basically this part of the field that really kind of jets in on this little spot. We're in this double, and we actually had a forky buck bumping a doe around like crazy in what we call the flat, just running them all over the place. So it's like, okay, this is awesome. Here we go.
Running into the camera. And just...
Yeah, literally ran right into the camera. Like right into, you hear the camera guy go, boom, And so we're seeing them kind of moving around. We're like, okay, here we go. Something's going to happen here. Like maybe just this doe decides to come this way and it's going to all happen. And then it wasn't but about 8 o'clock. And there's a tree kind of right in front of me. So Jet's to my left and he can see a bit better from his angle. And this doe just kind of walks off Turkey Ridge, comes right down the hill. And as he does that, Jet sees it right away, which he's got, like you, he's got eagle eyesight. And Jet's like, right there, And so I'm looking and I'm like, I don't see it. And he goes, of course, Jet's like, it's right there, Dad. Like he's like, look where my finger's pointed. Put your head, I think that's going to help me. And so finally I see it. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, here we go. And it came right out to the edge, walked just like on a string right to us. It got to 10 yards and it had to decide either to go straight under the tree or go to the right or the left. It went to its left, which would be our right. Well, it turned and it was just walking. So I was at full draw. I got drawn. I macked at it. I'm going to stop it because I didn't want to shoot it walking. It would not stop. Wouldn't stop. I'm like, come on. Walks right through the opening. Won't stop. I'm like, ah. So I let down. Well, now it's gotten to the point where the wind, it was like it was a northwest wind, but where we were at, it was blowing like west, almost southwest, kind of going around that little bit of a ridge.
Yeah.
Gets directly downwind. I mean, I'm puffing my wind indicator directly downwind. I'm like, ugh. Downwind, licking its nose, can't figure it out. I'm like, okay. And now I was looking at 12 o'clock. Well, now it's over here at like 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So now I'm turned around with the tree right in my face. I've got Jet right here. And it comes into the woods. Actually, there's another stand right there, a little single ladder. It walks right up to the single ladder, like right up to it. And I've got just little openings through the thick stuff, you know what I mean? And she kind of steps into the opening. I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, I think I can make that work. So I full draw at less than 20 yards. She's quartering to, and I put it right in front of her shoulder, kind of between like her neck and her front shoulder, like right on her front shoulder in the front of it. And it wasn't a very steep angle. And I'm like, I'm going to just let it eat. Really hunkered in, take one more second, let it go, and just pinned her. And that was pretty cool. And Jet, she ran to the woods, came back out in the field edge, and she was just pouring it. I mean, you could see it even in that moment, in the chaos of the couple 10 seconds of it. She just see it pouring out of her. Yeah. And Jet's like, right away, look at all the blood. I'm like, yeah, I know. And she just crappie flops at like 60 yards from us. Yeah. So that was cool.
No, that's awesome.
It's awesome to have Jet there. That was pretty cool. It was really neat. Nick and I have been talking about this. I kind of feel like when you see things, when they work out or they don't work out, you always like, oh, what happened? Where was the shot? How did it work? My mind's eye, which I don't know if that's what it is, but when those moments happen and they kind of all speed up, your brain is trying to process so much, right?
Yeah.
And so you kind of have like this vivid moment in memory of or what your brain grabs onto in all these things happening in this sensory overload. And so what I remember is seeing that arrow hit her right where I was looking, my fire knock just dig into her.
Yeah.
I remember not seeing the arrow like skip her where it was when she ran off. She ran off to the right. She came back out. She was really kind of favoring her front legs and just dumping blood
Yeah.
on her left side, and I hit her on her right side. And so I told Jet and my brother Justin, they all came down. And he's like, "Where'd you hit her?" You know, and I'm like, "Well, she was quartering two." I said, "Gosh, I think I came in perfect right where I was aiming in front of her shoulder, and I think it came out behind her left shoulder, but in front of the diaphragm, the way it was dumping blood like that."
Yeah.
And sure enough, when we field dressed it, it was right there, and it came out in front of her diaphragm. It didn't hit her diaphragm at all.
Yeah.
And so it kind of came in middle, and it came out low, and so it was just a bloodbath.
That's
I mean, it
awesome.
looked like you just had a 5-gallon bucket and was just dumping it on the ground.
Heck yeah.
And there wasn't much left
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we opened her up. It actually severed her esophagus, and where her lungs and heart come together, that was just destroyed.
Yeah.
And so she really just she was down for the count pretty quick.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
So that was awesome. So Jet was like 2 for 2,
Yep.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
So he was all excited. It was really fun to get to have him out there again, to have him see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told Justin, I was like, well, we can blood trail her just to see. And so that was a cockabur heaven,
Yeah.
but we did it anyway with the boys, and they followed blood, and we picked up a couple leaves, and okay, see how when that blood drops and then where the splatter is, think of that like a arrow pointing in the direction that it went, you know. So that was pretty cool. You could really see it like pointing right where she was going.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she turned and came out of the woods, you could see all of a sudden the splatters moved. And so that was kind of neat
Yeah.
to help them kind of get an idea on that.
Yeah.
And then they were gone. And they were, "We're going to go look over here." So then they left Justin and I do all the hard
All
work.
the heavy lifting.
Yeah. It wasn't very much heavy lifting. It wasn't a big mature doe, and
Yeah.
it wasn't a yearling. It was like a 2nd-year doe.
Yeah.
It was nice size.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And then the other thing that happened, again, going back to the fun, frustrating thing.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually before I hunted with Jet that day.
Yeah.
Have a spot that I just have antlerless tags. So it's just an antlerless only area. I can't shoot bucks, which is fine. And I went in there the other day, whenever, a week ago or two, and had a really nice buck that walked by, like a 130 class buck.
Yeah.
And was out there in the afternoon, and sure enough, here walked in Mr. Top of the Pyramid, is what we're calling him.
Yeah. He's a really big buck.
So yeah, it just kind of felt like it felt like the perfect day, and it was hardly any wind. It was actually really switchy in there.
Mm-hmm.
It said it was supposed to be northwest, but it actually felt more like west than northwest than southwest. I kept smelling ozone the whole afternoon. I'm like, gosh darn, I was moving it.
Switching.
I couldn't feel like I could get it right. But sure enough, this great buck, he's like a mainframe 10 with kickers off his G2s.
Junk everywhere.
Splays. His brows are all splayed.
He had brows, or he had junk all up in his brows. And
Yeah,
his
yeah. I
faces.
mean, he's got to be I would say conservatively 170-inch buck.
I'd say so with all the mass.
Yeah, and it's just unbelievable mass, dark horns.
Mm-hmm.
He walked in 30 yards right in the lane, and then just walked right through. So it was cool. I got some video of him. That was really fun.
Yeah.
You know, like right away, like when I could see his body before I could see his rack, and I knew right when I saw his body, I'm like, geez, oh Pete's.
Yeah.
You know, and I instantly just reached for my phone right away. I'm like, there's no way that's a doe. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not picking up my bow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be a buck.
For sure.
And sure enough, like, he just kind of came in on, you could see him, I was like, geez. And it's a great deer.
Oh man.
Golly.
Giant.
Oh man. Like, wow. Yeah. So that was really neat to see.
Yeah.
And again,
crazy.
an hour before dark, just out cruising.
Early.
Yeah, early. And then I actually saw another buck after that I didn't even know if I showed you, but I got a little video of him, and he came in right downwind at like 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah.
And it was probably like a 120, 130 class buck. But yeah, that giant was really cool to see.
Oh yeah.
And again, there was you could see rubs on the trees like just down the way from me. I'm like, you know, not that meant it was him, but I'm just saying it was just
There's a good buck in here.
yeah, it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
you could see rubs on the way in, and I'm like, okay, there's something in here, you know what I mean? And but yeah, he was not small. I mean, he probably cracks the top 10 of the biggest deer that I've ever seen on the hoof.
Yeah.
That was a big deer.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, like the kickers and mass just explode your score.
Oh man,
so
and
quick.
his brows just like his brows, man. Can you imagine being another buck and him walking up and be like, "What did you say? You want a piece of me?"
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, so it's been, like I said, this last week has been good. It's all starting to pick up. It still feels like the best is in front of us. It doesn't feel like it's this absolute rut pandemonium where bucks are just acting reckless. It doesn't feel like that yet, but we are getting close.
Knocking on the doorstep.
Any day, any day, any day.
Yep.
The other thing I'll say is over the weekend, actually yesterday, Nick and I decided to just do some deer work and,
Move some cameras around.
yeah, moose cameras
Put
out.
some batteries in some cameras.
Yeah,
pull
we're
a
like,
couple sets.
Yeah, let's just move this set. Maybe we should try this. Let's go do this. So we're trying to, it's like, it was really, really windy, super windy, like 25 miles an hour wind, just gusting.
Yeah.
And it was a south wind and it just didn't feel like the best day to be out. So it's like, let's just take the afternoon.
Yeah.
We're driving down the road 1 o'clock in the afternoon and there is a buck bedded out in the middle of a bean field in the middle of nowhere with a doe.
Yeah.
We saw that 2 different times, which if that isn't indicative of it getting to be that time, I don't know what is.
Yeah, exactly.
That is deer acting stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are acting stupid.
Yeah.
And so that is definitely what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We are just right on the cusp of that right now.
Yeah, definitely a good sign for sure, I'd say.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, and the craziest thing about this week, upcoming week that especially in north central Iowa, looking at is the temperatures are going to be good, but the wind is all over the map.
It's a different wind every day.
We have northwest, northwest, southeast, northwest, southeast, northeast, southeast, literally just like that. So Monday, we've got a northwest. Tuesday, we have a southeast. Wednesday, we have a northwest again. Thursday, we have south, southeast. Friday, we have northwest again.
Yeah.
Saturday, we have souths again. I mean, from a hunting perspective and or from a deer perspective, bucks trying to walk with the wind in their face or trying to get downwind of doe bedding areas. I mean, the wind's switching every day.
Yeah.
So you would think that this is just going to be fruit basket upset on getting deer on their feet with this wind just switching and doing different things every day. It just feels like I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really good. I like the idea of the wind's just messing things up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to really force us to where we're going to go. I think it's going to really mix up where we may be sitting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I can get caught in that, like, I'm going to go to this spot. This is my best spot.
Yeah.
But I think with the winds the way they're going to be this week, it's just really going to just move things around and switch things up big time.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It's a good recipe for a good week.
Yeah. And again, like you said, I feel like at this point, and again, maybe this is maybe silly to say, but I almost feel like you can break the month of November up into like 3 parts. November 1 through 10, 10 through 20, 20 through 30. We've got 3 parts of this month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't think about October in that way.
Yeah.
I think about like early October and then late October. And honestly, sometimes I think about November and like the 1st through the 7th, or you know what I mean? And then the lockdown and then post rut, you know what I mean? But if we looked at it as like November 1 through 10, 10 through 20, 20 through 30, man, I feel like the way that everything is shaping out right now, man, this November 1 through 10, oh man. If I was a betting man, I would say that November 1 through 10 and November 20 through 30.
Yeah.
I think 10 through 20 could be tough sledding because that is going to be lockdown, baby.
Yeah.
But this 1 through 10, oh man.
There's going to be really good.
There's going to be some bucks on their feet trying to find what they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. I really feel like this 1 through 20 that we're in or 1 through 10 that we're in right now. Whoo, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, boys.
Yeah. It's going to be really good.
Really good.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I had this other thing that I didn't tell you I wanted to talk about. This is actually a hot take. I think this is really interesting. A buddy of mine, we were talking the other day, and he made a comment. He goes, I was out deer hunting, and I didn't even ask him if we were going to talk about this, but I'm leaving him unnamed. He said, I don't think it's as complicated as we make it out to be. He goes, I had this whole podcast episode in my head, and I was like, oh, okay. And he said, yeah, I think we overcomplicate this whole whitetail deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, what do you mean? He goes, are whitetails really, really smart? Yes. But in the same regard, like, they're very simple.
Yeah.
What do whitetails do? Like, at the end of the day, whitetails spend the majority of their time like laying down. Think about that. Think about what percentage of the year a whitetail is just bedded.
Yeah, exactly.
Is not moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so it's like big mature bucks, he's like, they're kind of lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You think about it. What do they want to do? They're bedded down.
Mm-hmm.
They lay down all day long. They move around a little bit at night. But he's like, they're just lazy. And he's like, so these big mature whitetails, he goes, they're not going to get off their feet yet.
Yeah.
He's like, the does aren't ready yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's like, why would they get up? He's like, if you were trying to shoot if you were trying to shoot a mature buck in like the way October had played out and did play out, he's like, feels like the best thing to do, and I don't disagree with him, is get right up against a bedding area.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Between bedding and food.
Yes, exactly. But what is that? That just plays right into his argument.
Yeah.
That maybe they are just kind of lazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's where and if you can get up against a bedding area and get between where they're bedded and where they want to go grab a bite to eat or grab a drink, but even that, they try to walk as little distance as humanly possible.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not walking a country mile. They're walking like 100 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're just not walking very far.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, they're just lazy. And he goes, and now, right now, like the bucks or the does here, they're starting to come in, but they're not completely in yet. So they're still just sitting there.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just really, really interesting. It's like, man, is it that complicated, or are they just, they're just, when it really comes down to it, they're just kind of lazy, and they're like, I'm not going to move yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been sitting around all year long. I'm just going to keep sitting here. I'm just going to wait.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And here soon they will get on their feet. And then all of a sudden, and like you've said, even too, we're seeing a lot of deer at night.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a lot of deer on their feet in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen that whole switch over.
Yeah, not yet.
We've seen it a couple times. Like I said, Skinny Pete's doing his thing. But again, Skinny Pete's not at the top of the pyramid.
No.
And again, I did see that giant, and he was daylight as all get out.
Yeah.
But the other
But you were probably right close to his bedding.
Well, 100%, dude. That's exactly where I was.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other part about it. And this is, I think, sometimes the thing that, I don't know if we talked about this last week or we did talk about it, but I mentioned it to you. That spot is a perfect example of unpressured deer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No question.
Here's the thing. In the whitetail world that I live in, not what's out there in the stratosphere of social media and the internet and everything else. And somebody listen to this and be like, oh, you're completely wrong. That's awesome. But in the world I live in, there's 3 types of land that we deal with, that you and I deal with. Okay? There's public land, there's private unpressured, and there's private pressured.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me?
Yeah.
You and I hunt private pressured.
Yes.
I am single-handedly the reason for the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name's Cole. Nice to meet you. I put pressure on the private spot that I have because that's what I have. And I'm doe killing mission. So I'm out there. Mm-hmm. I'm putting my odor, I'm putting my scent, I'm putting myself out there. I'm pressuring it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that spot where I saw that big buck, that is a perfect example of unpressured private ground.
Yeah.
And when it's unpressured, guess what deer do? We haven't affected their behavior. They just act like whitetails.
Right.
On the pressured private that we have we seen but a couple just little bitty scrapes? We've got mock scrapes, but we haven't seen their scrapes. Have we seen a rub out there yet? Nope. You go to unpressured private ground, guess what we're seeing? It looks like you're like, whoa, it's on like Donkey Kong in here. Well, of course it is, because they're not getting any pressure.
Yeah.
Nothing's affecting their behavior.
Right.
And so like pressured private ground is a lot like, there's not an unpressured and pressured public ground. It's just public ground.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a camera on public ground. We have a Cuddyback Tracks camera on public ground, which has been working great, by the way, right? You got an awesome picture of a turkey literally flying onto the roost right in front of the camera, like caught it mid-flight, you know? What are the 2 things that you've been getting on camera? And probably a 2-to-1 ratio.
A lot of people.
Compared to what?
Not a lot of deer.
Yes. It's like hunter walking by, Deer hunter walking by, doe.
Yeah.
Guy with a recurve, squirrel hunter, little buck.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's not a big piece either, and
We
there's a lot of people on it.
We found that trail. We're like, wow, great trail. And again, being a little naive, we're like, man, this is just a look at this smoker. Like, this is awesome. Yeah, it's beat down from people tracks, not deer.
Yeah.
There ain't no deer walking on it.
Yeah.
There is every once in a while, but it's way more people.
Yeah.
Like, we all gravitate toward the same. It's like, oh, look at this. Hey, wow, this looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. It's just been people.
Yeah.
It's pressure. It's pressure. It's pressure.
Uh-huh.
You know, I've talked a lot about this before, that at the beginning of the season, we have this clear glass of water. And every time we go, we take a little drop of red dye and we drop it in, drop it in. And I know that the private spot that we hunt, it is not a clear glass of water, even at this point. And we've probably put less pressure on it this year than we have in the years past, just because of the way scheduling and things that we both had going on.
Yeah.
Put less pressure on it this year.
Yeah.
And we still can see how it's affecting. You look at, and like you said, you look at unpressured pieces, and yeah, you're carrying right on. You know, and there's always those outliers in that, right? It's not like this is like a tried and true, absolutely the only way. But in the world that we live in, this is what it is.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know?
Doubt.
And I think
it's definitely really, really interesting.
I think what you and I are hoping for is we get to the point where those lazy bucks that are just going, I'm going to stay in this awesome bedding area that they haven't found me in yet, and I'm not going to move till the middle of the night, and then I'm going to go right over here and get a drink, then I'm going to scoot right back in here again.
Yeah.
What we're hoping is those guys finally get the urge, and they can't stand it anymore, because it's what they've been waiting for 50 weeks, for those 2-week period that it's time to go.
Yeah.
And they finally get on their feet, and they just lose regard to all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yep.
So it's just really interesting.
It is. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like this year, I really feel like I've felt that, because it's like, I'm like looking at that spot. I'm like, well, geez, why am I seeing deer out here? Well, there's just no pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Very little human pressure in there.
Very
little.
Very, very little.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what do the bucks do? They just do what they naturally do, because we're not affecting their behavior.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know?
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of good hunting in front of us. Because what is it? What are we at? November 3rd?
Yeah.
It's November 3rd.
Yep.
Dude, it is November 3rd. It might as well be 4th of July.
No kidding.
In the Nick Simon world, you're in your best 3 weeks of the year. Last week was your favorite day of the year.
Yeah, last week was my favorite week to hunt.
Your new favorite day is going to be one of these days when you shoot a whitetail.
Hopefully.
Oh, no. See, you need to knock that off. We've talked a lot about that. You've already been going down that negative town again. You did that yesterday. We were setting that double out there. That's another thing we haven't even talked about. We got a new spot unlocked.
Yeah.
Whole baby. That's all I'm saying about it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not giving anything away.
Else.
Nothing.
Don't say a single word more about it.
Nope. But what did we do? Put a couple cell cams out. What do we already have on camera?
A couple small bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. We got one that we're like, yayo. Walked in there the other day, and it was Scrape City, baby. But again, what are we seeing? Deer in the middle of the night.
Yeah. It's all nighttime stuff.
And what are we also seeing? Scrapes right next to unbelievable bedding area. And so where do we have them on camera?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, I don't know. It's interesting. It's going to be a good time. But where I was going with that, you made a comment yesterday, because we talked about hunting yesterday afternoon, but we decided to do this deer work. And then, of course, this buck walks by the river where Nick would have been sitting. And then Nick's brain starts unraveling, because it's like, oh, nice buck walked by the river. And I'm like, what buck was it? And he said, and it wasn't a buck that you're even going to shoot. He's in the no-fly zone.
What?
You are not shooting. No. If you shoot that buck, that is just, you gotta have a little bit higher standards than that. Come on, guy. He needs another year.
He's a nice buck.
He's a no-fly zone. He's a no-fly zone.
I'll show you a video from the side.
Yeah, he's a no-fly zone. No. No. But what does the next thing Nick say? Oh, probably would have messed it up anyway. Probably would have found somebody screwed up. if I get a chance, maybe. You got to knock that stuff off, man. You got to, it's all about manifesting. You have to say, I'm shooting a big whitetail. You're shooting, I'm telling you right now, you're shooting Skinny Pete. You're shooting Billy Nobrow. And I'm not going to lie, I think there's a really good chance you could shoot Brutus. Brutus, by the way, back on camera at a new spot at Thermal Hub, which
He was there 2 weeks ago.
okay, but that's another thing. You want to get in a little bit of an argument, a little wrestling match with your good hunting friend when camera batteries run out and he doesn't tell you that they run out. And I just think the camera's getting slow.
No, I know that was that was my fault for sure. But in Ohio I had a lot going on, and it just totally past my brain, went right over my head.
Nope, not good enough.
So,
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go into this just quickly, and I don't care. I heard this the other day, and my phone now has been feeding me more of these because I watched it and I saved it. I've been listening to all these quotes by like Nick Saban, the old football coach for Alabama and LSU and all this. And it wasn't actually by him, but it was by Sean McVay for the Los Angeles Rams. And they were interviewing a player, and they were talking to him, and he said, what's the one thing that you learned from him? And he said that he talked about that there are no built-in excuses. No built-in excuses to anything.
mm-hmm.
Meaning that when it gets to be the game, it doesn't matter if you're hurt, it doesn't matter if you're tired, it doesn't matter if the other team's better or favored or faster or stronger. There's no built-in excuses. And he talked a lot about how everybody always has built-in excuses on things. And it was crazy. I was like, whoa, that is so true. And I'm no different, right? We all are. And again, of course, I relate it to hunting, but we all have built-in excuses to why it didn't work out or what happened or, And I think when I started to really think about it, I was like, man, if you think about it from that perspective, of like, you know what? There's no built-in excuses for why it doesn't work out. There's no built-in excuses. There's no anything about, if you just take away the built-in excuses, like, okay, how do I get this done? I feel like you can really see things a lot clearer. And that's, I feel like, what I'm doing. After I've heard that, just really thinking about how I'm thinking about like how the rest of this deer season may work out for you. Because from my perspective, no built-in excuses. You're killing a good one. It's happening. Put it on the map.
Mm-hmm.
You can play this video after you shoot one and say, holy cow, you were right. And I'm going to say, I know I was right. I told you, no built-in excuses. You're going to shoot Skinny Pete. You're going to shoot Billy Nobrow. You're going to shoot, you can't shoot all three because that would be illegal and you're not a landowner. Or you're going to shoot Brutus. It's happening. Put it out in the atmosphere, into the stratosphere. It's happening.
Or No Name. I'd shoot No Name.
Oh, man. No Name, too. No Name. Oh. No Name's on the cusp. I feel like
I would have roasted him.
He just needs one more year. No Name needs another year. The other one below that, he's a no-fly zone. We got to just let him go. What's his name?
We've only had him twice. He was all over every single camera last year.
In the summer,
I tried killing him last year.
I don't remember that.
I had the decoy out and I rattled him in, and he got to like 50 yards and ran away.
Yeah.
He was way smaller last year. Just trying to fill that bug tag, man.
I feel like there was something else we were going to talk about just now that I was just remembering. What was it? Oh. After this last week, I think I've had this strategy last season, and the strategy has also been this season. Every time we go hunting, if Nick and I are hunting together, we're hunting together. But if we're hunting where I'm hunting and he's hunting, I always think, where's the best spot? And we put Nick in that spot. But that logic has not been working.
It's not been working at all.
But let's just say that if you would have been here, I would have put you in those spots because that was the best spot to go, and that's where I went.
Yeah.
So it's just so indo facto.
Right.
You would have been there.
Yeah.
But Nick had the idea, and I don't disagree, that maybe Well, and your logic is no name walked by, right by,
Yeah.
and you would have roasted him.
I would have.
So now you
beautiful
think.
buck.
So now you think what we should do is we should go. Where should I sit? And if I go, well, I think this is the best spot. And then where else would I? And I just literally go, well, I'll just go over here because it's right for the wind and I can be out of the way. And honestly, a lot of it is just like almost a recon.
Yeah.
Like you go sit here in the best spot. I'll just go over here and see what I see. And then we just had eyes on a new area.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
that's really what we do. Like you can see this whole thing. Like I'll go over here with Jet. No, let's see. So now you think we should do that, but then do a switcheroo.
Yeah. Do the exact opposite. Dude, Cole's had a great year.
That could totally burn you, dude. I'm just telling you.
That
If
doesn't
I have
matter.
if I have to pass
care.
Skinny Pete again,
I don't care. I'm getting a keen liking to tag soup, so it's all right. No, because, I mean, Cole, it goes without saying, Cole's having an unbelievable year.
I don't know about that.
Dude, come on. You've seen a lot of great bucks,
Yeah, I have seen some nice ones.
killed 2 does.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like I'm a lot behind on my doe count so far, which I feel like we're getting into the tougher doe period, so that kind of
Yeah.
sucks because I
Yeah.
really wanted to have a lot more does killed.
well, we'll bail some hay and late muzzleloader and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but it's just you're having a really, really good freaking year.
Yeah,
And you haven't said it yet, but you are.
Well, I appreciate that.
You're putting yourself in front of deer, and that's half the battle.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not the right deer, but it's still great bucks that the majority of the world would love to shoot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think of it like that.
Yep. Yep. Well, and I'll tell you, yeah. Yep. I mean, I have a hard time like accepting that compliment because like that's just like we've had this conversation before. I just do this because I love to do it.
Well-
I don't do it and again, this podcast I feel like at times kind of puts me in a weird position because if I ever come off like I'm trying to brag, that's not what I'm trying to do at all.
Yeah.
We're just trying to have conversation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, with all due respect to everyone that's listening, I don't really care that much
Yeah.
about at all, except for like my really close immediate family on what they think.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I have a hard time accepting compliments like that because I'm not trying to get any recognition about it.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean,
it has been working out pretty good.
well, what I'm saying is like, I think me and you are both the exact same way. We don't measure success by kills.
No.
And in that way, we've had a very successful year. I mean, I haven't held the bow too much, so it's been kind of low on my end. But every time that we go and film, we've been seeing deer.
Yeah.
We've been having a good time, and every time you go without me, you see great deer. So it's like,
Honestly,
dude, that's successful. That's success.
I measure success. I feel like in hunts, right?
Yeah.
In really exciting hunts,
Mhm.
and I feel like definitely had some of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So it's like,
Yep. It was
Yeah,
really cool to get to see that big one. That was really cool. It's really cool to get Jet on and see it work out.
well, and
And like even like when that deer hit the ground and like I turned around to Jet and he just I like I told you before about like trying to let myself have a little bit more excitement. Like I really came unglued and
Yeah.
we're high-fiving and he's like, call Justin. I'm
Yeah.
Justin after he's like, oh, I could tell. He's like, you were all wiggly voiced.
oh yeah.
So yeah, it's just really fun.
Well, yeah, and getting to see Skinny Pete at 10 yards. I mean,
Yeah. It was really neat to see him come through like
yeah,
that.
I mean,
he came
that is just something.
and like that foggy day, that was so cool. I mean, dude, I'm talking the densest fog. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm standing out there and like what's like you hear a car go by and you're like, you know what? They're driving in the car like I'm in my tree stand. This is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just like I was out there.
Yeah.
It was really cool to just be in the middle of all of it. And
Mm-hmm.
but no, dude, I have a really good feeling that I'm telling you, man, it sounds really crazy to say, and it's call it what you want. But when I've gone to Alaska the last couple of years, I've gone up there and I've had the mindset, and I already have this mindset for next year. We are going in there and we are killing a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
I know the sheep. I don't want to say I know the sheep we're going to kill. I know the sheep that I feel like we're going to kill.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude. Like, this is what we're going after. We're going to hunt him. We're going to find him. We're going to get an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I feel that way about you.
Yeah.
I honestly feel, dude, like we're going to put in the time and you've got some PTO scheduled and you're going to get some time and you're going to get some opportunities and some stuff's going to start hitting the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna
I
be
have to
fun.
get you a couple extra doe tags, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, you're
got
gonna have
two right now.
Yep,
Two of them,
you've
yeah.
got an antlerless and you got a Cerro Gordo.
Yep.
And you got your buck tag, and you're filling that buck tag and you're filling those doe tags, and we're gonna have to get you some more antlerless ones.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, last year I didn't fill those antlerless ones till November 19th, so we got a lot of days.
Well,
boys.
it's coming. It's happening way before then.
Yeah. So
Yep. Nope. It's on like Donkey Kong.
good time of year, man. It's gonna be fun.
Nope. It is a good time of year, and I don't know. Maybe we'll do the old switcheroo on the where we go thing. Maybe that could work. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, either or, as long as we're in a stand, don't matter. Because we can't control the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like I said, can't control the weather, can't control the deer, but we've got some good weather. It's looking in the forecast. It's going to be a little windy, but I'll tell you what's nice
all
about
right,
a nice windy day is it's not going to be doing the old switcheroo.
Yeah.
That
it'll be
switchy stuff
prevailing.
can be always tricky, and so you get a prevailing 10 to 20, you can deal with that.
Yeah. No doubt.
And we can find our pockets where we can try to get out of the wind, and it's just everything's on the up and up right now.
For sure. Yep.
Hey, I think we leave it right there.
I like it.
All right, another podcast, the books. Ozonics Killerwinds podcast. Thanks for listening. If you're out, good luck. Be careful. Be safe. When in doubt, don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid.
There you go.
Good luck.
See you next week.
Stay classy.